Right, ladies and gentlemen, finally the deadly weapon letter. I decided to redo it again as I've had a lot of complaints regarding the blurriness of the last video, which was a long time ago, and that was how we used to do the video work back then. It wasn't as good, or it did not have the high definition like we do now, much better. So I'm going to go over this with you again, which it seems to be an extremely popular video. Couldn't believe how many thousands of views we received. So I figured, well, I might as well just give them a very clear image of it. And at the time, you know, the blurriness wasn't really an issue because that was just, you know, for us to have you download the document, because we had the document where you just automatically would download it. But unfortunately, we were paying for this monthly just to keep the document up there. And so that's why we ended up having to sell it separately. But now we've included this in our e-course and recorded webinars, so that way you can actually see just how clean and clear it is, so you know what you're getting, quality. Okay, so what is this deadly weapon letter? Well, the deadly weapon letter basically is very powerful, because if you've received anything from the creditors, such as, oh, you owe us a debt, or they're calling they're calling you up and saying, pay me now, even though they're not even the company that you're supposed to be paying, but they're a third-party collector. You want to know who the hell you're paying, and you want to know if they are a legitimate business in the first place, because a legitimate business, if they are operating in the United States of America, they should be paying their taxes, right? Just like they expect everyone else to be paying their taxes. And you also want to know if they have certain qualifications in running a proper business, because any type of order they send you, whether it's a judgment, a court order, a slip, a bill to pay them, you want to make sure first that they're even a legitimate company, or else it is null and void. Okay, you'd be surprised at some of these corporations that are not legitimate, and we're talking about the courts, we're talking about the IRS, we're talking about the banking companies. None of them are legitimate at all. They are foreign private corporations, and they are taking your money. Actually, they've already taken your money, which was your gold and silver years ago, and they're actually double dipping in your funds, which is your bank account, or I'm sorry, your birth certificate account. And they double dip. They've already dipped into it, but yet they expect you to double dip in it anyway, or for them to double dip into it anyway, which is extremely wrong. And this is what they're doing, and asking you to pay taxes and all that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, this document will put a stop to it with a lot of companies if you're doing it properly right. Now, we suggest that when you send a document like this out, you are to get a notary to sign it in front of you. You want to have it notary signed, and you want to have it sent by a notary, which is, we call it notary presentment. And it's going to be certified mail return receipt. Now, the reason why we do this is because the notary has a lot of power. They not only witness that you've appeared before them, but they also carry more power, more weight, and also more power than a judge. Okay, so with that being said, they have a lot of power that is so powerful that they can be there act as a witness on your behalf. Should the company decide to dishonor or not honor any of your payment instruments. So you have to do this correctly from the beginning, not just send them the letter. Now, we've had clients send the letter only, and it was extremely powerful, okay? Extremely powerful as it is, but we suggest that you go through the steps, which is called the debt validation process. And you get the notary to sign it, and if you wish to, you could do a double whammy where you can go to the county court recorder and have the notary verified, their signatures verified, which is like a double whammy of a notary. So that way the court actually accepts it on the county level, saying, yes, this notary is definitely who they say they are. We verify the signature, and I mean that's very, very powerful, and it does hold weight in the county level. So once you do that, you will send this out to them, certified mail return receipt, to the appropriate company that is giving you hell. And you're going to ask them, this is what you're going to do. I just put this as an example, let's say U.S. Department of Education. In regards to unfinished business, Joanna Raven Moon, non-adverse, non-belligerent, non-combatant party, secure creditor with power of attorney general and executrix on behalf of the Joanna Raven Moon estate, is in possession of your recent voluntary submission of evidentiary documents. U.S. Department of Education must herein provide a true and certified copy of the complete audit trail of said account. Furthermore, in order for U.S. Department of Education to validate the debt, please provide verification through audit certification of debt entry in accordance with GAAP, which is generally accepting accounting principles, which has to abide by, the account has to abide by this rule to prove that it is an account, okay, that the accounts are clean. The IFRS, which is the International Financial Reporting Standards, so globally it has to abide by these standards. In accordance with Basel III Accord and UNITRIL conventions, I would also need a copy of your tax registration certificate, which is very important because, if they have a tax registration certificate, good. And then also you can actually use that tax registration certificate number to put a lien on against them. After you become a secure creditor, you can actually put a lien against the other party or other corporation and hold everything, and then have the IRS act on your behalf, of course. Failure to substantiate the claim, please settle account immediately within the next 30 days. Sincerely, Joanna Raven Moon, executrix of the estate. Again, it's just a sample letter. And then you would actually have a notary. You would put like a notary information on here, or have the notary. Sometimes in California, even if they don't abide by the notary area where they're supposed to sign, they're going to staple on their own version of notary document that they're going to sign. Even if they do so, you always specify that the notary stamps this, puts a stamp on the front page. Why? So it shows that it's all connected, okay? We've had issues like that going to different countries, getting our documents notary signed, apostilled, and so forth, and actually having some of the people there, lawyers, they're not accepting it because they're saying, well, wait a second, these documents don't look like they're attached. It needs to have a notary seal on that document to prove that it's attached. And we ended up getting a document straight from the Secretary of State, California, and you would think that they would actually know this, okay? Or the notary themselves, they would know this. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. But this is a very powerful document, and just this document alone is gonna wipe out thousands of dollars if you play your cards correctly. If they decide to dishonor this document, then you move on to the next step, which is a debt validation, where you end up saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you 10 more days. You're in fault, you have but opportunity to cure. There's other ways of doing it, but this document is very, very powerful because what you're doing is you're building a case, and then once you've done the debt validation process, which is not on this video, by the way, just to let you know, once you're done with the whole debt validation process, you can actually take them to court because you've already put your case together on your own without a lawyer, but you can take them to court and say, okay, so where's this debt that I owe? And because the fact that they have not responded with valid proof, they haven't responded to show proof that they have an audit certification of data entry, which is accordance with these rules and laws, or they haven't abide by showing you their tax registration certificate information. Any of this, if they did not send this information to you within 30 days, and I'm not talking about an account summary. Account summary, they could just jot all that stuff on, on a computer. No, you want to see a certified audit trail on this account. That's what you want. And if they cannot provide that, and they've been, denying it, they've been ignoring you, their acquiescence, which is their ignoring you, if they don't respond within 30 days, well, their acquiescence, they have agreed for you to move forward with them. And you can actually move against them and do a declaratory judgment against them. And you can freeze their accounts as well until you receive payment if there is proof of fraud, okay? And a lot of people have been getting paid doing this too, by the way. A lot of people who know how to do it correctly, they're getting paid. I mean, they're getting paid just for being harassed on the phone and abiding by certain laws that by calling and harassing you, you can charge them like money each time that they do this. But you have to abide by certain rules in moving forward with the debt validation process and certifying it, because the notary is there to certify it. They're there to not only be there in front of you to state that, yes, they've appeared before me, but they're also sending the letter for you and using their address to send it for you, okay? That is what we're talking about when we talk about notary presentment. They are supposed to send it out for you using their address, not your address, because they are like acting in a way as somewhat of an attorney, but what do you call it, a solicitor in a way, where you have someone very powerful by your side that acts as a witness and has more power than like I said, than a judge. So very, very powerful document. But if you just send it out like this, without a notary and all that stuff, then you're probably going to get hit and miss. But it's better to have something there that has like some type of certifying evidence, which is a notary there to sign that document. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this and you can read this clearly. And if you want to do this letter, just copy it onto your Word doc, and then try it out and see if it's really working for you or not. But this is a very powerful way to get rid of debt if you're not a secure creditor already. But if you're going to go ahead and do like I said, the debt validation process and go through with it, even though they're not honoring it, then you may want to become a secure creditor to protect you while you decide to put a lien on this other corporation that is still ignoring you. Or take them, or you can just take them to court. Even if you're not a secure creditor, you can still take them to court. You can still have that power to do that regardless. I mean, we don't like going to court, but if you at least have a backup case that you created yourself, you can have that power to back you up when you do go to court, because you'll have all the paperwork, and I would wait like maybe 3 to 4 months, and then after 4 months, they've ignored all of your documents, then you can go in for the kill and go to court and say, here's all the proof. There you have it. And the court and the other corporation has nothing to say. They don't have a leg to stand on. They don't, because they have. It's like we're using their laws against them. The laws that they are using against us, we're using against them, because they do this all the time. They say, okay, you need to pay us. Okay, you got 10 days, you got 30 days, oh, you got 10 days, oh, you got 5 days, oh, okay, it's law, now we're going to put it on the credit report. See, this is how they get you, so you can get them back too. Alrighty, guys, hope you enjoy this. Also, check out our new website, illuminatingvisionsltd.com, illuminatingvisionsltd.com, and check us out, listen to us every Thursday, 4:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Central, and 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Every Thursday, you can join us on freedomizerradio.com, and the radio show is called Illuminating Visions. So love to have you on board, and we're going to be sharing some awesome, even more techniques. Once we start moving throughout the weeks, we're going to start introducing more of our techniques slowly but surely, just for you to get a grasp of and concept of what it is that we're sharing here with the world. And just letting you know, don't get trampled, don't lose your power, and don't give in to these bullies, because they are bullies, and once you make a stand, they know that they cannot mess around with you, because there is that power that we all have, and it's the power of not giving in, and a power of realizing that you are not a corporation, that your name is, that you are not part of that corporation. You're a living being, living soul, and they have no power against you unless you give it to them. All right, guys. This is Joanna here. Peace, over and out.